What's up, everybody? Steve Jones Jr. and welcome to This Is The Moment podcast. We are live right here in the Red Room with Jamaal Whittington. Woo!
What up, what up?
How you feeling, man?
I feel great. I feel really good.
You have some new material coming out. How do you feel?
Also great. Really good. A little dash of nervous, but I'm ready.
We're going to get into that in a moment. But for someone who's never heard your music before, what do you hope they're going to experience before they even understand who Jamaal is?
Wow, I could prepare the churchy answer to say, I hope they experience God first. Somebody lift your hands. But I do. I actually hope they do experience God. But I hope they're able to find themselves in the lyric, in the harmony, in the musical moments. And I hope that maybe possibly that song can be a part of the soundtrack of their lives in whatever moment they're in when they hear it.
What season are you in creatively right now?
I think I am relearning what is authentic and specific to me as a musician. Let me explain. Fairly recently, like during the pandemic, I went on a deep dive on YouTube and I found a bunch of clips from my group, Salt Nation and Credence. Those are the names of the aggregation of singers that worked with me during that time. A lot of the material is still on YouTube. I'm still in close relationship with my MD who helped with both iterations of the ministry. And we've always talked about we need to get them done. We need to get them released. But sometime between like 22 and like 24, 25, I listened back and then I started singing these songs and I was like, wow, this stuff still has life in it. And I also feel like they have place today. I was just playing a song I wrote entitled Pour Out, and I played the whole session through and I was kind of shocked at like, wow, this is good. This can be something. Why did I walk away from that? So to answer your question, I am relearning that. I also believe that there are instances where creatively we're not giving new things until we do what we're supposed to do with what we already have. So relearning.
Would you say the time period of you going back help you rediscover your why?
Absolutely. And not even just my why, because on the deeper level, yes, but just even on the surface level, I look back and realized, oh, I am actually graced to be this person. And I don't want to sound arrogant, but oh no, this kid can sing. I was in my 20s. Right. And a lot of the things I'm doing in these moments, they weren't executed as good, but the idea was very much still there. And negative self-talk and just replaying the wrong narrative kept me from appreciating that time in life. So looking back, I'm like, wow, no, you've always been him. Why are you not being that now?
Right. What advice do you have to creators about patience?
The more you struggle with it, the longer you'll wait.
Wow.
Drops mic. I'm not going to drop this one. It's expensive.
What's exciting you the most right now?
I'm finally getting it done. As a man, I think the idea is to complete something that will outlive you. And I don't want children, so...
I don't want children.
Sorry. Might have just cut my fan base in half.
The legacy.
Sorry.
Wow. Come on, man. We got a lot to get.
Sorry.
One thing I've always admired about you is your multifaceted. I had to get that word out. When it comes to
That was great. Multifacetedness. That's good.
When it comes to artistry, when it comes to your love for music, it's layers. It's decades, it's genres, it's eras. What are some, not even going to, but right now where you are, who are some of the artists that you've been really pulling from?
Man, have you heard of, I know you know this, Christy DeShale?
Christy DeShale, yes.
I said it wrong.
Yeah, you
but I love you though. I love her. I go to every show. I go to every show.
She's like water.
If you all don't know who she is, I beseech you, therefore, brother. Okay, go find out. No, that second album was crazy. Grief.
Yeah.
My God, it was so good. And she's a believer. She's one of us. So
yes,
it's like
absolutely.
You can feel the anointing. Definitely, but less for the fanatical side of it. I actually study her vocally. I study her placement. I study her approach. She sounds like she's doing a whole lot more than what it actually is happening.
Absolutely.
And I've seen it live. You think she's exerting this energy, and she is so like planted. And learning to look at how vocalists address things, especially in improvisational states, and watching her specifically, one of the things I had to break myself out of was I don't have to push my physical being so much to accomplish what I hear in my head.
Yeah. And that's just a black thing. I'm sorry.
And it's church.
It's church. That's literally a
no, don't get me wrong. When the spirit is moving, and and there's documented evidence of me jumping a few feet off the floor. So, hey, you gotta get it out. You gotta get it out. But sometimes it's less about how you look like when you're doing it and what it feels like when it comes out of you. And she is masterful with that, to me.
You and I have seen the gospel music industry, I'll say, evolve, change over the years, and we're at another season of that in 2026. I'm going to throw a statement at you, and you give me your immediate reaction. The gospel doesn't change, but the formula can. What's your immediate reaction on that statement?
When will it?
Ooh. What parts of the formula do you think need to evolve?
It's twofold. From the perspective of corporate, the industry side of it, the thing that made gospel music the place to be was the different textures of gospel music. The Hawkins didn't sound like the Winans.
Right.
They didn't sound like the Clark sisters. They didn't sound like Donald Lawrence in Tri-City. You can trace. They didn't sound like Andre Crouch, but you could trace the influences and still be able to distinctively know who was who. And unfortunately, from an industry perspective, we've fallen into the same loophole or the same turnstile is the word I'm looking for, that R&B has landed in, that rap and hip hop has landed in. Everything is EQ'd and the frequencies are dialed in at the same levels, and everything sounds the same.
Correct.
Gospel music was always the genre to be in because the frequencies were different. The message was the same, but the delivery was different.
You told me that your goal this season of your life is to create a sound that people can feel. What does that actually mean to you?
I think, and I'm going to limb by saying this because I don't want to make a blanket statement and speak for everybody, but in my travels, especially with our peer group, age group, generation, the millennials, so to speak.
I'm 30. Amen.
Happy birthday.
You said our age group, and I had to let the audience know that I'm 30.
So I'm not going to take immediate offense to that, but I'm 40. But
we're still
we're
millennials.
the same age group, yeah.
Yes.
What was the question again?
You said that you're going to create, or your goal is to create a sound that people can feel.
What is that?
And this season, to you, what does that mean?
It means that my song will come on Spotify, iTunes, whatever your streaming platform preference is. Some of us still use Beyonce's title. And it'll stop you in your tracks because what's being sung or what's being said resonates with you at a deeper level. It doesn't necessarily have to be this huge life-affirming thing, and it might be. Or it may just be a song that has the verbiage to where you are in life at that moment. Someone told me a long time ago, in your formative years, the music you listen to becomes the soundtrack of your life. I don't think that just happens in the childhood or the maturation from childhood to adulthood. I think when life happens, people look for something to grab hold to get them through whatever that is. I think God's graced me to create a sound, to write music that pinpoints those times in people's lives and get them through. And I'm going to be frankly honest with you, 95% of anything I've written was during a very weird or tumultuous time in life. And I think that speaks for all great songs written, hymns specifically.
Yeah. This is a good question for you. Do you think artists discover their sound, or does life reveal their sound?
I think discovery is in the revelation.
Break that down for me.
Sure. Because it can be brought to your attention,
Right.
and you still choose not to go in that direction. Perfect example, and I'll use myself as an example. I just knew when I made my exodus from being a gospel artist that I would find the sound and run with it. And that didn't quite happen that way. The sound that was revealed to me, now don't get me wrong, I enjoy performing secular music.
Soul music.
Something that is specific to my experience.
Right.
However, at the end of the day, I do have a obligation to my confession of faith to deliver what I get from heaven. That sound was already brought to my attention. I didn't. It was revealed, but the discovery of it really didn't happen until I looked back and realized, like, oh, it was there all along. Like earlier, you asked me when I went down the rabbit hole on YouTube. That was the discovery. It was, oh, there it is. It's that right there.
With creatives, a lot of times our life is literally like on a canvas. We're painting each section. Sometimes I'm learning now, it's like sometimes you got to step back and really see, like,
the actual bigger picture.
Exactly. When we look at the bigger picture as an artist, is it our job to create what they're expecting, the people, of course, or create what the people need?
I think, and this speaks for every genre, I think every artist who accepts the call to create has a responsibility to speak the language of that generation with hopes to push the conversation forward in terms of helping people become the best versions of themselves. That's it.
With what you just said, do you think you could have been in this creative space 10 years ago?
Nope.
Wow. That's real.
And that's why it hasn't happened.
I understand. What's the difference between what's the difference between making music people like and making music that will that people can carry with them?
I don't think there's a difference.
Say it again.
I don't think there's a difference.
Really?
Yeah. The music that's carrying you through is probably the music you like.
Got you.
Yeah.
Has the gospel industry made it easier to fit in or to stand out?
They've made it easier to stand out. They super have.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
What's one creative belief that you'll never compromise on?
I cannot do anything that is not a part of my confession or a part of my experience. Perfect example. Like I said, I made the exodus from gospel music, or I stopped pursuing it. I'll say it that way. When I moved to the DC area, I spent a lot of time wedding bands, residency at some restaurants, worked with some bands in the general area, did a lot of performing, background work, even recorded some records. And one of the things, and I even told my manager this, as I started to pick up momentum, I started finding myself in certain places that I just didn't feel comfortable. They loved me. I mean, welcomed me with open arms. The room was locked in. But I could feel that there was something they wanted from me that wasn't in me. And so I had to really dial into that. And I told my manager, I can't do certain locations. I can't do certain venues because there's an energy that I can't connect with. Even in my singing R&B, I don't sing anything overtly sexual. I don't do any profanity. I come in there with an agenda, and I still have a confession that I have to maintain, a lifestyle, a presentation that I have to give, even if I'm not singing gospel. So I stopped going places where I felt that didn't make sense because that's not a part of my confession. It's not a part of my experience.
We are in an industry that will literally destroy you if you don't stand 10 toes down on who you are as a person.
Absolutely.
You can get lost in it, whether it be the concerts, the after parties, the things of that nature. Why is it so important just to be true to who you are as an artist?
Because that's why is it so important to be true to who you are as an artist?
And as a person.
I think I'll go with my first instinct. I have a personal responsibility to myself to be myself at all times because I am enough as I am. Yeah. And that's what's carried me. How I have been, fearfully and wonderfully made? Yeah. I am that. I am what you see. And any deviations of that are a disservice to myself, but also it's a disservice to the people who are connected to me who I haven't gotten to yet.
What's something people misunderstand about you as an artist?
That's a great question because I don't know people understand now as an artist. I do know one. I think even in our previous conversations, I think people, and some of it may be true, and I'm getting there. I'm setting up my disclaimers. A lot of people think that my primary focus or objective was becoming a background vocalist. That was something that I pursued, but that wasn't the final goal, and that wasn't the only thing that I agreed to lock myself into. And that's not a bad thing, but when I started doing more solo work, a lot of people were always like shocked, and I don't say a lot because I don't really have that conversation a lot, but my peers more specifically would always call me for a lot of the BGV things. And so when I pivoted and stopped taking certain BGV invitations, I've been offended at some people because it's like, what do you mean?
Right.
That wasn't the goal. So, perfect example. Melanie Daniels, Tyrese, Whitney Houston, who else? Vivian Green. These are powerhouse BGVs who went on to become their own thing. Duran Bernard,
Luther Vandross.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we have these people because they entered into the BGV space, but that wasn't their intention to stay there. At some point, it was their opportunity, it was their responsibility to say, hey, I have to jump out here now. And that's the misnomer I guess I'm dispelling. Like,
what advice do you have to the artists who are afraid of the pivot? Because you just named some people who took the chance on themselves, but then we have a lot of, and there's no knock to them at all.
Absolutely.
But insane vocalists who just stay over here, and not knocking BGVs, but it's like, for those who are afraid of the pivot, whatever the pivot is, musically, life-wise, like, what advice do you have for taking the chance?
Feel the fear and do it anyway. You're going to always be afraid because it is always going to be scary. It just means you care, and there's nothing wrong with that. The fear shouldn't be if you fail at it or not. The fear should be, what if you wake up one day and you never did it at all?
Wow.
Because time waits for no man, and you can look up and an entire decade of your life can be gone, and all you'll have is a pocket full of what you wish you would have done or shoulda, coulda, wouldas. So, that personal experience.
You have a new record coming out, Without You. I love it. I can't wait for the people to hear it. Tell us the story of why you chose to reimagine this song.
So the song had already kind of been playing around in my head just throughout the last like 4 or 5 years or so. And then my mom passed away last year unexpectedly, and that was one of the last songs I shared with her.
Wow.
Just kind of like, hey, do you remember this? And she was very shocked that I remembered it. So Without You is a deep cut record written and recorded, released by Marette Brown Clark, 1998, 95, somewhere in the
90s for sure. Yeah.
And it was a sign-off song from the Morgan State Gospel Radio segment on Sunday evenings. WEAA. And they always signed off with like powerhouse deep cuts, but that one, before we had Full Moon branding, that was
right. True.
Okay,
Very true.
So, because that end is crazy.
Yeah.
It's still a great record, and when everything happened with my mom, and you go through the whole process of honoring your loved ones in the new phase of their existence, that song turned into a thing I had to chase. So I worked with Ramon Shelton and Morgan Turner to reimagine it to make it sound like what it sounded like in my head.
Wow.
It is a tribute to my mother. It is definitely a nod to the incomparable, gracious, elegant Marette Brown Clark.
Yes.
Nobody does it better. But I think the biggest thing for me is that record gave me space to sing and deliver a sound the way it comes to me.
Yeah. When did the song stop being a song you admired and become your story?
March 9th, 2025.
Wow. The exact date.
That's the day I buried my mother.
Wow. Do you think, has grief changed your creativity?
Grief changed me completely. For those who haven't gone through that yet, losing a parent changes you.
Yeah.
Forever. And I'm grateful for that because it accelerated a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it changed. The part of my creativity that it helped the most was it helped me get from behind my inhibition.
Wow.
But it also challenged me to be more prepared. You can be creative. You can have the gift. You can be anointed. You still have to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Simple, small things when I talk to younger vocalists who don't warm up. Like, it's a very small, rudimentary thing, right? But it's so vital, especially as you advance in your years. You have to warm your voice. Mm-hmm. Especially if you operate or you have certain placements that you have access to that you operate in, you have to warm those spots up. You can't just go. Some people can. They are anomalies, and they do exist. Mm-hmm. We know a few of them.
Yeah.
But that may not be your grace. Mm-hmm. Do the work. Study. Constantly be a student of music, because whether you like what's out there or not, music is always changing. It's always evolving. And there's always a story, and there's always something you can grab from it to make you better. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
You've always been one to move the needle creatively.
You think so?
I know so.
Oh, my God.
I can't look up to somebody and be like, okay, I look up to him because he's boring. No. Where do you see yourself taking the next wave of gospel music? Because we've talked about this earlier, but it's not going to look the same. The old blueprint worked for 2001. Here we are now. Where do you see yourself taking gospel music?
I hope to not take it somewhere directionally forward. Mm-hmm. I would like for gospel music to come back home and look inward, because let's just be honest, I'm here because somebody who was in the industry looked back and saw me.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that. And what's happening is the talent that needs to be nurtured is going elsewhere. Mm-hmm. And they're going the other direction. They don't have choirs to aspire to. They don't have a Milton Brunson to look to. So I don't think gospel music needs to reinvent the wheel. I think going back to the thing that made sense and making the thing accessible to the next generation is what we need to do. Mm-hmm.
What do you hope people feel after hearing your version of Without You that they may have never felt before?
I hope they feel the heartbreak. I hope they feel the desperation.
Mm-hmm.
It's still the gospel. I'm still singing about the Lord.
Right.
But I want people to understand that even in worship, the Bible says a broken spirit and a contrite heart he will not despise, or he will not turn away. I want people to hear the brokenness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily need you to latch onto it and identify with it and drive that thing home into boundless depression.
Mm-hmm.
However, understand that even in all of God's all of his merciful gloriousness, we can still come to him, and it doesn't have to be this perfected thing.
Yeah.
But it can be this honest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in this song, I'm being very honest.
You talked about, we touched on grief as artists, as creatives, as just people in general. A lot of times we go through things and we don't want to deal with it. Mm-hmm. So we load the schedule up with 1,000,001 things that we really don't have to do at all, just to keep ourselves away from whatever it is we're dealing with. Do you think creatively you'd be in this position had you not really trusted the process of grief?
Can I be very transparent with you?
Yes.
I started the process before the grief.
Wow.
I'm playing catch up from almost a 10-year run for myself. I think this point in my life with this person I've become after losing a parent is I no longer have the excuse of move on. Because I ran before all of this happened. My count is, my favorite phrase that people say to me, and I'm glad I'm having this moment so I can finally say it publicly. I despise the phrase booked and busy. I really do. And I know it's not, there's no negative connotation. I know that people, when they say it, they do genuinely mean well. But my booked and busy was me running. And death stopped my run.
Wow. That's real, man. I admire the fact that knowing you and seeing where you are now is just like, oh, wow. We're being reintroduced to who you are.
You know, the irony of the situation is you saying that is crazy. So you came to my reintroduction concert.
Yes.
That wasn't even a thing. That I don't even know who that guy was, because that was nothing. It was great. And shout out to everybody who helped make that evening a success.
But it's a testament that you're going through life the right way. All the artists that we look up to, whether it be music, art, that these people go through phases. I'll use Stevie Wonder as one example.
Oh my gosh, he's so many.
One album is like, this album is this, the next album is this, the next album, like, you're watching this man layers, like unpick, like
because you're dealing with Stevie as a young man and what was pop then. Suit, tie, Motown, and
cookie cutter.
Then you're dealing with Stevie as a parent. Then you're dealing with Stevie who is politically sound and involved. You look up to a lot of people like that. And I'm going to come back to gospel with this. Okay.
When you call out, we can go for days, the artists that we look up to. The future of gospel music needs more of what?
The future of gospel artists need more, I'm probably get in trouble for saying this, trained musicians and singers. Trained. It doesn't have to be classical, but you do need to have a bass.
Right.
My bass is classical music. No, you can't tell it, but it's there. And I actually can turn it on whenever I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Morgan State University.
Shout out to Morgan State University.
Flip, 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 flip.
As we're closing out, I'm going to close out with you. Tell us why Without You is a song that we need for today and this season that we're in.
Because everybody needs this. I think I've said this earlier. Everybody needs that one song that speaks to the desperation in their lives in the season that they're in. Everybody needs that thing that anchors them when the wind is blowing crazy, when the bill is due, when you got to go to bed hungry because you just ain't got it, when you are hiding your car because tags are expired and they're coming after you because you ain't paid the car payment, or because the check is short because you owe the taxes, you just ain't paid it. Like, somebody needs that song that helps them get through what hard time looks like for them in their lives. Because I'm in a hard time, and that song is getting me through.
I appreciate you for stopping by.
I appreciate you for having me.
For sure. Listen, be sure to check out Without You. It's a smash hit. I love it. Reimagined of a, I don't even call it a cover song. This is my brother's testimony for sure. So check it out. Thank you for tuning into. Wow, I can't even close. Thank you for tuning into This Is the Moment podcast. I'm Steve Jones. This is Jamaal, and we out of here. Peace.